Swit La Pound is a very special friend of mine. She's from South Africa. She is a survivor of really horrible physical, emotional, and sexual abuse, and she writes about this in narrative form, very poetic style. It makes you cry, but it gives. I mean, I always cry, like, you know. It's just like this new rivers created the way I cry when I read her, you know, her work. But I'm a crybaby anyway. But she is just. I mean, that goes so deep into your soul, into your heart, touches you to the core what she writes, and so it's definitely not something, you know, if you want to have a light beach read or something, you know, that's not going to be it. But, you know, this is worth it, trust me. You might be put off thinking, no, that's too heavy for me. But at the same time, even though she's talking about, you know, the abuse and everything else, but she's also talking about the spirit of women and children that overcame that stood up to that didn't just accept that kind of society, you know, that it was okay for men to be so abusive to women and children. And it gives you so much hope as well, you know, and it doesn't just happen in Africa, it happens everywhere. I mean, you know, of course, some societies, you know, we have, like here in Germany, we have a lot of laws to protect women and children, of course, from abuse, things like that, but at the same time, it still happens everywhere in greater or smaller quantities. But, you know, you can't say it's just like on the other side of the world or wherever. So it is something that unfortunately happens more often than we know, because very often nobody says anything, and you know, because of fear, of shame, of, you know, all these things. So I think that's something that you know, that we all have to be aware of, and stand up and give the victims a voice as well, because very often they can't do that for themselves. But anyway, I just totally love how Swit writes about horrors, and at the same time makes you feel strong and empowered, and like you can soar and rise above the pain and rise above the abuse and rise above the victimhood. So that is something that she has, that in her writing, that is so precious, right? You've got to read this, you know, and I have to say, don't mind, it needs some editing, definitely, but you know, a lot of indie authors, first of all, they can't afford an editor. Secondly, this is heavy stuff, and she's writing from her own experiences, so she can't go through that like 10 times, you know, and do the grammar and the spelling and whatever else, because, you know, it's her heart and soul. So, and it's very difficult to talk about it and to read it back as well. So bear that in mind, and please don't judge the book on that, yeah, because just read over the little things that, you know, maybe a bit out of place or a typo here and there, and then really just feel it, really feel it, because it's going to change your life forever. It's going to touch your heart so deeply, okay? So the first one that I have here is from It's a Man's World.